A man is shot dead and then police swarm a Middletown condominium complex early this morning, faced with also possible explosives in the area. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Prophet. This is a story that continued throughout this day. And tonight at 5 o'clock, the bomb squad set off a detonation right in that neighborhood. We're still on the scene of this developing story as police have not said a word about it yet. One twist happened late today. Take a look. Police were on the search for this box truck. Looks like an old ambulance. Metro Police believed it was connected to the killing in Middletown. They also said the driver was a person of interest and that the truck may contain an explosive device. Then just before 4 o'clock, the truck was found with police releasing no details about the driver or the explosives. We'll have a live report from Middletown coming right up as our top story moves along here tonight. We want to let you know that as all that was happening in Middletown, just 11 miles away to the northeast from Middletown, police were on the scene of another homicide on River Oak Circle. Now that's off Chamberlain Lane near the Fincastle neighborhood in the area of the Kentucky truck plant. Metro Police say a man was found shot to death at about 4:15 this afternoon. Right now, they don't have any suspects. Anyone with information on this is encouraged to call the anonymous tip line to help detectives at 574-LMPD. An Anchorage police officer pleading not guilty today for allegedly driving under the influence over the weekend. Court documents say a Metro police officer saw Lucas DeBoard of Anchorage weaving in and out of traffic on I-64. DeBoard was allegedly going 122 miles per hour on the interstate. He's now facing charges for speeding, reckless driving, and operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol. He's going to be back in court on April 28th. And all new tonight on the night team. It's been a week and a half since a beloved father was found brutally run over on I-64 in St. Matthews, right near Bowman Field on the interstate. The family and police are still looking for answers on who, if anyone, will be held responsible for the death of Tony Welch. WHAS11 night team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Aspen Hester sat down with his widow in Shelbyville, who details his commitment to the family.
46-year-old Anthony Welch, who went by Tony, is being described as a committed family man who gave everything to his children and to those he loved.
When I went to pack up his stuff after all of this, I was shocked by how little he had, because he'd give it to everybody else before he bought something for himself.
His widow, Patience Palmer, says they all live in Shelbyville. She says during the last night of February, Tony was last publicly seen with friends at 4th Street Live for a concert. St. Matthews police says that's when a fight took place and the group decided to leave downtown and drive back home, heading east to Shelbyville on I-64.
Down 64, there was another fight that happened in the car, and then Tony was let out onto 64.
Police confirmed that this stretch of highway near Bowman Field was the area Tony got out of the vehicle.
There was another altercation near the Cannons Lane, Breckenridge Lane area on I-64 eastbound, and got back out of that vehicle again. And that's where later he was fatally struck.
The St. Matthews chief says it was very dark and it's possible that Tony was struck by a semi-truck. I reached out to the St. Matthews police chief, Barry Wilkerson, to see if we can get more details on this investigation. He responded saying they do not have any updates at this moment, but Patience tells me she's grateful for their commitment to finding some answers. I asked Patience if she believes there was malicious intent behind Tony's death and why she continues to share his story.
Yes, I do. Absolutely do. There's 3 people I know for sure know what happened. I'm hoping they do the right thing. I want people to see he's a human being. He was loved. He had a family.
A committed father is gone, leaving behind a mystery still hanging over his large family. Jose Alonso, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
St. Matthews police are still encouraging anyone with information on Tony's death to call their tip line at St. Matthews. And the number to call in St. Matthews is 502-893-9000. We've been following another late developing story today. Upheaval in southern Indiana tonight. The Clark County, Indiana commissioners removing all 3 members of the Utica Township Fire Protection District Board during a meeting today. Commissioners President Brian Glover telling us they advertised this meeting 48 hours in advance, but we've been hearing a lot of people were caught off guard in our reporting. The president of the Fire Protection District was not in the meeting and found out at about 4:40 this afternoon. This move effectively stops a vote on a $30 million new fire territory to be created between the city of Jeffersonville tomorrow at 4 p.m.
No, I think I would have to question how much drive and interest they had. I think this was a plan all along from the city of Jeffersonville to create the territory. And actually, I think the plan was already put in place well before these board members took action.
We also got a statement from the now former president of the fire board, Joe Charles. He says, in part, we believe the meeting was held in violation of Indiana's open door policy, and the actions taken were outside the commissioner's statutory authority. At the moment, the Jeffersonville City Council and the fire district are still supposed to have a joint meeting to vote on the fire territory tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Our Focus reporter Travis Breeze will be there. He'll bring us the latest in a report right here on WHAS 11 News tomorrow. Other big stories we're following. New tonight, the Kentucky Senate has passed a bill to ban DEI in higher education. House Bill number 4 seeks to eliminate all DEI officer positions and end DEI training sessions. Supporters argue that these initiatives hinder diversity and go against the purpose of higher education. However, opponents say the bill limits opportunities for students. The bill is now heading to the governor's desk. A Kentucky bill that would subject hemp-derived beverages to new regulations and ban certain products advances further over the objections of the hemp industry. Senate Bill 202 cleared the House today. The bill would have move enforcement of the sale of hemp beverages over to ABC agencies, and it bans the sale of beverages with more than 5 milligrams of THC per 12 ounces. Now, supporters say the measure is needed due to some bad actors in the retail space.
We've done our homework. We've sent these products off to a lab. We found that they can be registered either higher or lower than the milligrams stated on that label. Frankly, that's a consumer protection issue and a public health problem.
The bill now heads back to the Senate, which would have to concur with the House changes before it can be sent to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's desk. You know, we hear from you a lot about this. Tired of driving on our interstates that are dark for miles with no lights, just like this from our drone? Kentucky lawmakers want to crack down on copper wire thieves that have left so many folks on our interstates driving in the dark. And a bill to stiffen penalties for people stealing copper wires is now one step closer to heading to the governor. Senate Bill 64 stiffens penalties by broadening what qualifies as first-degree criminal mischief to a felony to anyone who damages, steals, or tampers with key infrastructure. Representative Jared Bauman of Louisville, a Republican, says the bill is that they're hoping to stop the problem before it gets worse.
We've really seen the number of lights out on the interstates in general go from 800 in 2023 all the way up to 1,400 in 2024. So the problem is getting worse, and it's a significant public safety issue.
Lawmakers made some changes to the bill in the House, so the Senate needs to give final approval. If that happens, it'll go to Governor Beshear, who has the option to sign it right into law. New tonight, tributes to Junior Bridgeman continue to pour in. The former U of L star and billionaire died Monday after suffering a medical emergency during a speaking engagement. And for the first time tonight, we are hearing from his daughter. Bridgeman was a man known for working tirelessly behind the scenes. He didn't want any credit. He was always at the center of this community. In a statement posted to social media, Eden Bridgeman honoring her father tonight, saying in part, as both a daughter and a business leader, I am forever grateful for his mentorship, guidance, and the powerful example he set in both family life and professional excellence.
I guarantee you, when the history of the city of Louisville is written and people start looking at all that has been built in our lifetime, Junior Bridgeman's fingerprints are on all that is good and all that is noble in our community. He will be greatly missed.
Dr. Kevin Cosby speaking to us there from Simmons College of Kentucky about Junior Bridgeman. For the first time, we're also hearing from the organization where Junior Bridgeman was speaking at the Galt House yesterday at noon when he said, I think I'm having a heart attack. The Lincoln Heritage Council and Scouting America. In a new statement tonight, CEO Jason Pierce said that their hearts were broken at his passing and that he was the true embodiment of a scout. Saying in part he expressed deep gratitude to the audience for their support of scouting and the youth of Louisville. Humility, leadership, kindness, Junior embodied these values.